Hello, friends! Welcome back to our first quarantine episode of How the Light Gets In. Nothing is the same as it usually is. I have not been in my office in like 9 days, so we're not filming there. We are filming in my friend's dining room. But we do have a green screen, so that's gonna get very exciting. I'm also wearing real pants for the first time in like a week. So that might throw me off just a little bit because I don't have the stretchy waistbands to which I have grown accustomed. I know that probably you don't want to talk about COVID-19 anymore. In fact, I don't want to talk about COVID-19 anymore. I feel like COVID-19 is the only thing I've talked about for like 3 straight weeks and I'm super over it. At the same time, I can't help but notice that it's still kind of a big deal. And the more I think about it, the more I realize how far-reaching the consequences of this are going to be for us, and especially for therapists. The mental health crises that I anticipate coming out of our current situation is something we should probably prepare for. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not someone who went to medical school because chemistry is hard and I didn't want to do any of it. So I'm not going to be speaking to anything medical at all because I am underqualified and didn't feel like doing that kind of research. So I will say, though, I'm going to review the CDC recommendations real quick because I realize that statistically, chances are that we are like most of us are going to get this, and it's pretty key that we flatten the curve and that we make sure that we don't all get it at the same time, because that is how you turn into Italy. And I think we all know that that is currently a bad thing. So for the time being, cover your mouth when you cough, wash your hands. If you can't wash your hands, sanitize your hands. Also, I recently learned if your nails are long enough that like you can't touch the tops of your fingers to your palms, you can't really clean underneath them either properly. So cut your fingernails before you wash your hands. That's a thing, unless you intend to carry a nail brush with you every moment of every day until this is over. And that seems like a lot of work, right? You should also be staying the hell away from each other. Stay home, guys. I'm serious. Like, friggin' stay home. Unless it is really, really important and you have to leave, please stay home. Also, do yourself a favor. I'm going to leave a link below to Michael Rappaport's PSA about COVID-19 because he puts the whole stay-at-home thing much better than I could. So click that when you watch this because it'll amuse you. Don't touch your face. It's hard not to touch your face. The average person, we touch our face like 3,000 times a day. How is that possible? How are we touching our faces this much? But please quit. And stay the hell away from each other. Did I mention that? Please stay just stay away from each other. Stay home. Don't touch each other. Don't go near each other right now. The mask thing. So apparently if you are sick already, or if you have a compromised immune system, then a mask will help you. If you are a normal, healthy, functioning person, you don't need a mask, and you should give it to someone who does need it because you don't. I don't know why everyone in the world is hoarding masks and toilet paper right now. There's a dog here, but you don't. Disinfect all of your commonly touched surface in your home, your doorknobs, your light switches. Someone on my Facebook last night was joking about how she cleaned all of her hand soap bottles. And honestly, I don't think that's a crazy thing to do. And finally, stay home. For the love of God, stay home. This is the second time I've left my house in 9 days. And I'll be honest, it's been rough, even though I don't generally like to leave my house. But can we all just stay home for a little bit until this is over? Okay, thanks. There's a lot of uncertainty right now for everyone. I don't think any of us really know what's going to happen. Or how we should be reacting to what is happening or what might be happening. I think based on the research that I have done, that almost all of us are probably going to get a shelter-at-place or a stay-at-home order. My county and state have already done that. Most of us are probably going to get sick, and most of us are probably going to be fine. That is small comfort right now, because most of us is a pretty non-specific term, but that's about as good as I can do right at this moment. So because the most we can do right now is guess what's going to happen to most of us, it is our responsibility, all of us, to try and do the best we can to take care of each other and to take care of ourselves. Whatever you can do to protect the people around you, especially those that might be vulnerable, you need to be doing right now. I know that we are all pretty sick and tired of feeling unsafe and feeling stuck. But in our current situation, I don't know what other option we really have. So on top of all the stuff that everyone is freaking out about around this virus, which we all probably should be freaking out about, I don't mean to suggest otherwise, the more time I spend on Twitter and the more clients that I talk to and the more of my colleagues that I talk to, the more I realize how many layers there are to the mental health aspect of all of this. Isolation is not good for human beings. We weren't really designed to live this way. I'm lucky enough that I live with my partner, so I'm not completely by myself, but I have a lot of friends who live alone, and I know that what's going on right now is really, really difficult. Feeling like you can't leave your house and you can't see anyone is awful. Like, I don't like to go places, and I'm still mad that I can't go places. I want the option to say no. I don't want to be forced to like just sit in my house right now, but that's where we're at. On top of that, like, it is a stressful time. I mean, inside each of us, we're wondering what's going to happen to us and to the people we love, what's going to happen health-wise, what's going to happen financially, what's going to happen in terms of our government and our country. And then probably this doesn't impact everyone, but I'm a therapist. I'm a very empathic person. So on top of my own stress, I am experiencing the world's stress, and I feel like I am absorbing it whether I want to or not. And that's exacerbating all of this so very much. And it's really hard to tell what an appropriate emotional response is right now. I constantly feel like I am either over or under reacting, and I can't seem to find like the sweet spot of how anxious I'm supposed to be. And from the people that I've talked to and the things that I've seen online, I don't think I'm alone in feeling that way. And that sort of uncertainty is a lot to tolerate. That was one of the slogans, I guess, of my graduate school program, is that you have to tolerate ambiguity. And it's a necessary skill and it's an important skill, but it's also really hard. And especially right now, it's really hard because it feels like everything we talk about comes down to either, oh, everything will be totally fine, or holy shit, everything's on fire. And the amount of gray area that exists between those 2 points leaves a little bit too much room for my anxious brain to play with. And it just leaves me feeling really uneasy. And I assume that a lot of you are feeling the same way right now. If you have watched my video about cognitive distortions, then you know if you are currently catastrophizing or what-ifing or any of those other things, and how that can create a lot more problems for you because your brain is a runaway train of catastrophic nonsense. And by you, I mean me. And that gets pretty exhausting after a while. There's also the human brain is designed to pay attention to things that are new and novel. But right now, while we're not leaving our homes or seeing humans, there's not a lot that is new or novel. And so I feel like that's gonna create some monotony moving forward that a lot of people are gonna have a really difficult time dealing with. All of the stress that we're dealing with leads to some irritability and feeling really on edge. And that generally leads to a lot more conflict in our personal lives. And because we're on quarantine, those of us who live with significant others are not going to get the opportunities to take breaks from them the way that we're used to. This is really going to be like a trial by fire for a lot of relationships. And because I am a marriage and family therapist, I anticipate being really busy for the next year repairing the things that COVID-19 has laid bare for everyone. On top of all that, the entire way that we live our lives has changed very, very rapidly. Like, I don't know about you, but I have a workday routine where I get up and get ready and get in my car and stop at a gas station, and then I go to the office and I interact with human beings, and then I get done with work and I drive home, and all of those things are different now. Everything that we're doing is different now. And if you are a person, you're probably aware that humans are not great at change, especially not on this giant of a scale. We don't tend to do this for reasons. And then I think I already mentioned this a little bit, but there's just the general stress of financial uncertainty and not knowing, am I going to be able to pay my bills? And if not, then what happens? Because I can't figure out what exactly the government has decided to do about this. So it's all just real perplexing. There's also a thing that I didn't think about until I was scrolling through Twitter last night. Someone who is at Face of Boaz tweeted, "Do you want to know why you feel so tired even though your daily activity load is decreased?" It's a trauma response. Because you can't fight the virus actively and because you can't run away from it, your body is going into play dead mode. It's common in those who experience ongoing trauma in their childhoods, and it's happening now. We feel powerless and we don't know what to do, and that creates a traumatic response in our brains. I have been so tired for the last week, and literally, I have set up my workspace 12 feet from where I sleep every night. I sit in a chair all day. I sit more now than I did when I worked in an office, and I am exhausted by the end of it. We're all really tired, and it's because of the traumatic toll that this is taking on all of us. I have no doubt whatsoever that moving forward, the amount of cases I see where I am diagnosing an acute stress disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder or something of that nature, I think it's going to go up really, really sharply. And it's going to be a lot of people who, when I tell them that's what I'm diagnosing with, they argue with me about whether or not they've been through a trauma. This is a trauma, guys. This is a national scale trauma, a world scale trauma. We're all going through this together, except for people who insist on pretending like this is a hoax and or not a big deal, who I don't understand, because I feel like the big dealness of it is pretty fucking obvious right at the moment. But you need to realize that you are in a state of trauma response right now and be aware of what that means for you moving forward. You're basically activating your stress system in your body. Your brain's going to be overreacting and your hormone system is going to be overreacting and your body's going to feel really tight and tense. I've been lucky enough to develop some new aches and pains to deal with, so that's been dynamite because I'm pretty sure I'm clenching every muscle in my body while I sleep all night. So this is impacting us negatively, whether we realize it or not. It is a highly stressful time across the board, and it's okay if you're struggling to deal with that. So now that we've covered everything that is terrible right now, which super fun, right? Glad I did it in this order. Here are some things that you can do for yourself to make sure that you are taking care of yourself the best that you can while we go through this. First of all, create a routine for yourself. Even if you don't really need one because you're not working and you're not going anywhere, you need one. Human beings do super, super good with patterned repetition. It helps our brains learn what to expect. And right now, when on a global scale, we have no fucking idea what to expect, your brain needs to know that these are the things that are going to happen to this body every single day. So as much as you can, establish a routine and stick to it. I've talked in the past about short lists. Now is a dynamite time to come up with a short list. 4 or 5 things that you're going to do every single day. No matter how you feel or what's going on, those are the things that you are going to do. Keep it short. It shouldn't take you more than 30 to 45 minutes to maintain that short list, at least at first. As time goes on, you're welcome to expand it. But for now, just keep it short and simple and make sure that it's something that you can reliably do every single day. You also might want to put together a self-care plan. And there are a lot of different ways to do that, and you can find some really good templates if you just Google it. But basically a self-care plan should just be a pre-thought out list of things that you are going to do consistently when you are living in the stressful time that we're living in, and emergency activities for when you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious or scared. Exercising, yoga, artistic expression, naps, showers, music, whatever. Anything that's going to help you feel cared for and calm down is a good idea to put on that list. Next, give yourself some space. You're not going to nail the routine that you set every day. Again, we're going through a traumatic experience, which means some days you are really, really not going to want to get up and go for the walk you've been taking, or stop watching Netflix so you can clean the kitchen or whatever. Give yourself space to do what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. As much as we have been promised that this will only be a few weeks, I think it's far more likely that it will go on for longer than that. And we need to be prepared to be patient and graceful to ourselves as we go through this. On the days that you can, do, and on the days that you can't, don't. It's fine. We're all allowed to do that right now. Another idea is to set some goals and intentions for yourself during this time. I'm realizing that all those things I thought I would do when I had time, time may not have been the issue. Turns out it had more to do with like effort and interest. But all of a sudden we've got shitloads of free time, boys and girls, and eventually we're gonna run out of cool things on Netflix. Unless you haven't watched Tiger King yet. If you have not watched Tiger King yet, put all of your goals on hold, sit down and watch Tiger King, and then follow me on Twitter and email me all of the memes that you have found, because it's the best thing that's ever happened to us as human beings, and it came at just the right time. Go watch Tiger King. But yeah, if you are feeling kind of aimless or unfocused right now, particularly if you're not currently able to work, it's a good idea to have some long-term plans for yourself, to kind of keep you moving in a direction, because we don't do great when we don't have like anything to work towards. So it's important that you establish some kind of goal for yourself right now. Next, make sure that you are taking some intentional breaks from the news, because it's a bummer and people are arguing and saying stupid things. For instance, the county health commissioner in Riley County, Kansas, which is where my parents live, recently said that Riley County doesn't have many COVID-19 cases because they don't have very many Chinese people. It is my fervent hope that I don't need to explain to anyone who is watching this how stupid that is. But that's why we have to stop watching it. Because every time I hear something like that, I just want to yeet my computer out my window because it's absurd. So, I mean, stay informed as much as you can tolerate, and then stop, because there are too many articles and too many news shows and too much information. And the more you take in, I mean, at least for me, and I assume a lot of people are like me, the more I know, it's not necessarily the better I'm doing. Especially when most of the answers we're getting are pretty flexible and non-concrete. Then you should also be taking care of your body. All of the stuff we talked about before is about preserving your sanity, but you need to take care of your body as well. Because if you feel like crap physically, you're going to start feeling like crap mentally, and vice versa. Two halves, same thing, do them both anyway. Get the exercise that you can, get the sunshine that you can, eat well, drink water, hydrate, take your meds, practice good hygiene, do all the things. Like, I know that we all need some cocktails here and there, but try not to turn this into an excuse to become like, you know, someone who abuses alcohol. Just be careful with compensating for the increased stress and lack of entertainment with booze. Because short term, it's a great idea, but long term, not so much. Make sure that you're finding ways to connect with people as much as you possibly can. Call people, text people, get on Twitter. Mental health Twitter is really, really awesome, and we would love to have you if you're not already on it. I follow really cool people, and I get to watch them all like support each other and be pretty positive across the board, and it's been really nice. A lot of content creators are creating a lot more content because we suddenly have so much free time. Did I mention that yet? I'm actually considering doing a weekly live stream so we can vent and chat and connect and whatever. If you're interested in that, let me know. I haven't done it yet because no one seems to care. And if no one does, that's fine. I won't do it. But if you do, let me know, and then maybe it'll happen. Get on Reddit. It's super cool and has memes, and strangers will be nice to you sometimes and also sometimes not. But I've had more positive interactions than negative ones, honestly. So I'm pro Reddit. You can use apps like FaceTime and Zoom and WebEx, and there's like 1,000 other ones so you can see people face to face. My family has started a weekly video chat just so we can all stay connected and feel a little bit less alone, which has been really, really good for us. I've also been filling a lot of my free time with TikTok lately. So if you happen to be on TikTok, you should send me your username so I can follow you, because TikTok's bringing me a lot of joy at a time when not many things are bringing me very much joy. And help where and when you can. Part, I think, of what is creating so much stress for us is that we all feel really helpless right now. I feel really helpless right now. I want to be able to fix this, and if I can't fix this, I want to be able to fix something for someone. So start asking what people need. I've seen a lot of people online making masks. I've seen grocery deliveries. I've seen opportunities to do some volunteer work. Try and find a way to get involved, because if you feel like you're having a positive impact on someone, you're not going to feel quite as helpless. And I don't know about you guys, but the helplessness is really making me bananas right now. I know it's all terrifying, guys. And if it's not scary, then it's just annoying because you're sick of talking about it. But this is the world that we live in right now. So do whatever you can to take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Stay in your goddamn houses. Don't touch your face and wash your hands. I'm here if you need me. You can reach out to me on Gmail or Twitter or Instagram, which is emma.cott. You can definitely comment below, like and share this video, all the normal stuff. Just be nice to you for now. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.